Okay, we're not there, so let's start at the beginning. Crash 3 is the final platforming Crash game developed by Naughty Dog before they moved on to the PlayStation 2 with the Jak and Daxter series. And for the third entry of the Orange Rat, they went out with a bang, in what is for many the best game of the Crash trilogy, if not the best Crash game of the series.
Really?
Yeah, I'm sorry to say it, but I just don't like this game at all. It does have some cool levels, including my favorite level of the entire trilogy, and it did introduce some awesome power-ups, but I just don't know how to explain it as to why I don't like it. Maybe it's because of that one aspect that everyone seems to either like or hate. But at the end of the day, I just didn't like the final product of Crash 3. However, maybe this mastery will clear my mind and give me some valid reasons as to why. Welcome back to a brand new Retro Achievement Mastery. I'm Jonathan Wolf, and today I'll be getting all 112, Jesus Christ, achievements on the long-awaited Crash Bandicoot Warped using the Retro Achievements website, which allows you to get achievements for your favorite retro games from the NES all the way to the PlayStation 2 with every console in between. And as usual, I'll be getting these achievements in hardcore mode, which disables emulator features like loading save states, the use of rewind, slowdown, and emulator cheats, which is a requirement in order to master these sets. Now, similar to the Crash 2 set, we have the return of the Deathless achievements, where we need to break all boxes in a level without dying. We also have the time trial achievements, but unlike Crash 2, we require a special power-up from the final boss in order to fully achieve these time trial achievements, especially considering that we have to collect all of them. Yeah, we get it, shut up. However, Crash 3 introduced a new type of achievements, that being a pacifist achievement, where you need to beat 14 of the 25 main levels without breaking a single box, with some exceptions where breaking boxes is inevitable. And for this mastery, I'll do the same thing for Crash 2, which is getting everything in a level before moving on to the next, starting with the pacifist challenge, if there is one, and then going back for the Deathless box gem, if I'm able to get it without the aid of a color gem. And after I beat the main game, I'll go back and focus on the time trials. So with that established, let's master the final game of the Crash PS1 trilogy. Our story begins in the title screen, where we can get an achievement right off the start by inputting the not-so-subtle Konami code and then pressing the square button, which will reveal the Spyro the Dragon demo, but also give us our first achievement, PlayStation 1 Heroes. And once we reveal this cool secret, we go into a brand new Game and witness the wreckage of Cortex Space Station crashing down back to not Earth, where one of the debris crashes into a temple, freeing an evil spirit, Aku Aku's evil twin brother, Uka Uka. Very creative name. Who yells at Cortex for failing in his plans to take over the world. However, since Cortex indirectly released Uka Uka, he feels a bit generous and joins forces with Cortex alongside a new face to collect crystals throughout time and enslave the planet. And as Aku Aku tells us about his twin brother, he gives us the objective to infiltrate the Time Twister machine and gather the crystals before Cortex's minions and stop the evil Doctor and his new voodoo mask. So Crash 3 is structured the same way as Crash 2, where we have 5 areas to gather crystals with 5 levels each, where you can tackle them in any order you want. But for the sake of this video and my sanity, I'll go in order similar to Crash 2, taking detours only to get color gems. So like I mentioned at the beginning, the first thing we'll aim for is the pacifist achievement, where we have to beat the level without breaking a single box. And after achieving the goal, we move on to the box gem. And with that, we begin with level 1, Toad Village, which has a very easy pacifist achievement, especially considering that you can just go on the sides of the level to ignore almost everything. That said, I won't talk that much about the pacifist or box gem in too much detail like I did with Crash 2, otherwise this video will be stupid long for no reason. But I will bring up difficult sections or alternate paths as they show up during this mastery. That said, yes, I'm plugging this way too early. If you want to check my full mastery process of this game, with past and future games as well, you can head over to my Wolf Archives channel, where you can see the entire thing. The purposes of these videos are basically to document my mastery process of these games, giving some tips and tricks and maybe do some jokes, but then again, I'm not funny. So with Toad Village, we get to the end without breaking any box and get our first pacifist achievement. And as for the box gem, this one is also pretty easy, although this game does introduce a new type of box that we have to keep in mind. the roulette box, as I'll call it, where you can get Wumpa fruit or other items when breaking it at the right time. However, you do not want to stall for too long, because if you don't break the box fast enough, it will transform into a steel crate, causing you to fail to get the box gem. But besides that, we ride the bonus platform and collect the crystal, and we get to the end and get our first Deathless achievement after breaking the final box, which is an interesting change from the other Crash sets, which hopefully doesn't become a close call for one of these achievements. That's definitely not gonna happen, right? Stage 2 is our first gimmick level, yeah, right off the bat. And it's also our first level where we don't have a pacifist challenge. In Under Pressure, we find Crash wearing a scuba gear, which proves that bandicoots can indeed swim, but this level is a very simple one and a very linear one. Just make sure you watch out for these homing mines and other aquatic life forms. And throughout the level, you'll find these UPVs that will allow you to destroy enemies with ease, as well as destroy these corals that have boxes inside them. But as long as you take your time with the UPV... Oh my god. Well, there you go. But as long as you take time with the UPV, you'll get all boxes no problem and get our next box achievement. Level 3 puts us in control of Crash's sister Coco for the very first time in the series, although her gameplay is mainly tied to gimmick stages. The first one being the return of the Hawk and Polar style levels. This time we ride on a cute baby tiger called Purah as we run along throughout the Great Wall of China. Starting off, we have the Pacifist achievement, and this one, like Toad Village, is incredibly easy as well, as long as you play keep away with the boxes. Although this quartet of boxes before the crystal can be problematic, especially considering it's next to a giant pit. But a simple jump around the boxes will be enough to avoid the problematic quartet and get your achievement incredibly easy and on our first try. And as for the Deathless achievement, similar to the Polar levels, just take your time and don't speed through the level, and be sure to avoid or jump on these jump pads to get to areas with boxes, and you'll get the box gem on the first attempt as well. And after getting teased by an angry bigger Tigger, we move on to level 4, where we need to go back to a time where dinos ruled the earth, or something like that, I don't know, and escape from raging Triceratops while avoiding lava pools and flying chickens. And this level is our first level where we have a sort of pacifist achievement, where we need to beat this level without breaking more than a specific amount of boxes, that number being 24. And basically, all the required boxes that can be destroyed are found during the chase segments of this level, which for some reason does not include the checkpoint boxes, but oh well. I guess these boxes have powers beyond our comprehension that only our orange rat with trousers can actually destroy. Now, because the Triceratops will destroy the boxes during the chase sections, that makes the beginning and ending of the levels incredibly straightforward and pretty simple. The only catch is that you do not need to destroy the checkpoint. So because the boxes during the chase sections are not an issue whatsoever, that makes the middle part of the level the more tricky part. Especially this section after the second chase, where you need to do a high jump by crouching and jumping to get over this box trio. But besides that, the rest of the level is very easy, and we get our not so pacifist achievement on our first try. And just like the other levels on this first area of the Time Twister, the Deathless box gem is also very easy to get. Although getting the gem itself can be tricky if the Triceratops is right on your tail. Thankfully, you get the achievement by destroying all the boxes and not get the gem. And as a bonus, as we go through this level, we finally get a third Aku Aku mask and go invincible to get another achievement. Level 5 is our final stage for Area 1 of the Time Twister, and we have another gimmick level, where we have Coco riding a jet ski through pirate-infested waters. The pacifist achievement is really easy to get, mainly due to the open aspect of the level, and at the very least, the jet ski doesn't control like utter garbage, giving us the no box achievement on our first try. However, unfortunately, because I grabbed the crystal during the pacifist run, since I got every crystal in the 5 levels, now I'm forced to fight the boss of Area 1. Since all previous levels will be gone. So because of this, we have to take a detour before getting the box gem in Making Waves and head to our first boss. Although, as I will learn later, if you exit the level during the boss fight, you can actually make the previous levels come back. Our first boss is the returning Tiny Tiger, where we have to fight him in a gladiator arena while he tries to skewer us like a pig. And returning from Crash 1, we have the return of boss achievements, which for Tiny, we have to defeat this giant Tigger without moving left or right. Similar to his fight in Crash 2, Tiny will try to land on you a couple of times before trying to skewer you with his trident, getting stuck and being open for an attack. After a hit, he will summon a pride of Leons that will try to gobble you up. And this is the hardest part of the fight, since the spawn rate of the Leons is completely random, and if you're unlucky with the spawns, you can get devoured in no time. Now let's see. Well, okay, here we go. Am I gonna die? Yes, I did. And there we go. And there it is. I finally died. But after some bad RNG during the first and second Leon wave, we get a good Leon pattern on our second time and defeat this Tigger, getting us the challenge achievement, as well as Gladiator Tiger for defeating Tiny and getting a brand new power-up, the Super Belly Flop. Once we defeat Tiny, Aku informs us that a new area of the Time Twister is now open. But before we move on to the next area, we go back to level 5 and go for the box gem, which is a very easy gem to get deathless as long as you take your time and don't rush through these bombs, and make sure you don't get pecked to death by this bird nesting on a box. And after we collect the Deathless achievement, we also get Medieval Camelot for getting all box gems in the first area of the Time Twister. Starting with area 2, we have level 6, Gee Whiz, where we get a confirmation about a flaw in the Deathless achievements. The Pacifist Challenge went up. Well, that answers my question. The box gem is officially failed. Oh my god, that is pretty stupid. Unlike Crash 2's box achievements, where you can get him even if you die before hitting the first checkpoint, dying at any point in a level in this game will fail the Deathless box gem achievement, which annoyingly includes dying before hitting the first checkpoint, as you saw, but also you will fail the achievement if you die on a bonus round, which was not the case in Crash 2. But speaking of the Pacifist Challenge, this level is another easy level that we can get no problem. Just make sure you don't spin enemies into boxes accidentally, like this knight at the end. But also, just for security, you want to make sure you defeat this frog, since I've had playthroughs where this frog will collide with this nitro crate and it will detonate and it will cause you to fail the challenge. But besides that, grab your Pacifist Challenge and go again for the box gem achievement. Although, considering the fact that this level is pretty easy as well, I want to give mention to the bonus round, since this is the first one where dying is a possibility thanks to this box over the pit. But after clearing the bonus round and witnessing a frog commit explosive seppuku, we make it to the end and get our next box achievement. Moving on to level 7, we have a stroll through the Arabian Days as we hang from these railings that will definitely not cause pain and suffering later down the road. I have no idea what you're talking about. But this level is our first platforming level where we have no pacifist achievement, and I can't give you a good explanation as to why. But alas, since we don't have a pacifist challenge, we can just go through the level normally and get the box gem so that we can move on to the next level, even though we will get a bit of teased by the dreadful color of pee. And to the next level we move on, with level 8, which is our next gimmick level, where we are challenged to a race by these lab assistants with a crystal awaiting the winner. And for these levels, we have to rely on a trusty motorcycle and our driving skills to destroy the competition. This level is the easiest of the racing levels, and as long as you don't go off course or collide with the police cars or other opponents, by driving carefully, you'll get both the crystal and the box gem incredibly easy. And something that completely caught me off guard that I didn't even realize when I was playing this game until I was writing this part of the script is that the racing levels have no achievements except for the time trial achievements, which we're not going to talk about them until we beat the game. Level 9 has our first level where we can't get the box gem until we collect a color gem, the gem in question being the purple gem, which we can get in the next area of the Time Twister. We also get the introduction of a new character, the fan favorite Dingodile. But as for the Pacifist achievement, this is the first tricky level to beat Pacifist, because right at the start we have this wall of boxes that is very difficult to go over. That said, once you defeat Dingodile, you unlock a power-up that will help you to go over the boxes easily. However, a well-timed slide jump will get you over the wall no problem. After that, it's just a straight path to the end. Although I did make a mistake by not grabbing the crystal, since I completely forgot that this is a level that requires a color gem to get the box gem, making me waste time for no reason. Oh my god, oh my god, I just wasted my time, didn't I? For the final level in Area 2, we return with Coco and Pura and go on a midnight stroll through the Great Wall one last time. Just like Orient Express, the Pacifist achievement is very easy. Although this final bit with this box and dragon can be scary. You can try to squeeze in between or jump over the box. Or in my case, sacrifice Aku for the greater good. And get the pacifist achievement. This time skipping the crystal so that we can return to this level without being forced to fight the boss. Now even though the pacifist run was a breeze, I cannot say the same for the box gem, since holy crap, there were times that this level gave me war flashbacks to Bears repeating from It's About Time. And anyone who played that game knows about the infamy of Bears repeating.
Did I seriously miss a box? Part of me does want to do the insane version before I... Okay. Maybe. It's not even a force of habit. Oh my god. Are you... Why are you missing that box, Coco? What is wrong with you? There's that. Oh my god. Are you kidding me? Hey, there we go.
So after that embarrassment of a run that will definitely not haunt me back in any way possible, we move on to the boss Dingodile, where we have the challenge of beating this animal fusion in less than 40 seconds. So the normal way to defeat Dingodile is to have him rain fire and then make him destroy his crystal barrier while he tries to cremate you with his flamethrower, repeating the process 3 times to win. But in order to get the speedrun achievement, we have to employ the return of an old reliable friend that we use a lot in Crash 2.
Well, remember in Crash 2 where I said that you have a very, very beautiful technique called a slide spin jump?
You thrashed me, mate. No worries, but you'll soon be up against much worse.
So once we defeat one of the best characters in the series and get one of the most unreliable double jumps in gaming, only to be dethroned by Jak and Daxter's double jumps, seriously Naughty Dog, what the hell's wrong with you with your double jumps? We begin Area 3 of the Time Twister and get introduced to a new character that we saw during the intro cutscene. This is Dr. Nefarious Tropy.
Master of time and creator of the very time twister machine you see before you.
Well, that saved me some script writing. And so we begin our first level of Area 3, Level 1, Dynamite, which is another level where we can't get the box gem due to the need of the yellow gem. So for now, we're going to focus on only getting the pacifist achievement. Just like Boneyard, this level has a limit of boxes that can be destroyed for the pacifist achievement, this time being 14. And this is another level that can be tricky to avoid boxes, if you're not as dumb as me and remember what you unlocked after defeating Dingodile.
Alright, don't banish me to the shadow round, please. Oh! I forgot what ability I unlocked after defeating Dingodile. Oh my god, I am such an idiot. Oh, and I was landing the box in front of it. Wow, look at that. Oh, what is this? Okay. Oh my god. Okay.
So once we clear out these jumps, we tackle the chase portion as normal and get to the end with 14 boxes destroyed, gaining our pacifist achievement with little issues. Moving on to level 2, we have our second and last underwater level. And this is our first level where we can get our first color gem, the red gem. Now, unlike Crash 2, where you need to do a sort of challenge to get specific color gems, like beating the first level without breaking boxes, or getting to the end before a time limit, in this game, color gems are very similar to the green and red gems from Crash 2, where you need to find secret areas or enter levels from a different point to get those gems. However, they also implemented a way to get color gems, which would become the requirement to unlock them in Wrath of Cortex. Now, in order to get the red gem, we have to play the level normally.
Unfortunately, we are not that good at video games, so we are gonna struggle for a bit. I want to say the last of the of the racing levels and mother.
After that, we need to basically get to the literal end of the level, but instead of finishing the level, we hit this exclamation box and backtrack all the way to the halfway point because the exclamation box spawned a TNT crate right before the vertical shaft that leads to the end. And once you nudge the explosive, continue down and avoid the nitros and water tornadoes, and you'll get to the end and get the box gem as well as our first color gem, giving us the deep red achievement. Now before moving on to the next level, I decided to return to Boneyard in Area 1 to get the secret gem from that level, which requires the red gem to acquire. And basically, this red gem path is a more difficult chase section, where we have to avoid larger lava pits, steam craters, and pterodactyls who want to take me to the great beyond. But once we get to the end, thanks to these steel checkpoints, we collect the secret gem, fully complete Area 1 of the Time Twister, and return to Area 3 and tackle level 13 after getting teased by Entropy, High Time. So this level has our second color gem, the purple gem, and this is our first gem that requires us to complete a returning death route from Crash 2, where you need to make it to the death platform without dying throughout the level. And once we make it to the end of this route, we not only get our purple reward, but we also clear the pacifist challenge where we need to beat the level without breaking more than 4 boxes, those being these 4 during the first hanging section. And after the box gem, as long as you take your time and don't let go of the railing by holding the jump button, which we'll get there, we'll make it on our first go and get the deathless box gem for High Time. And because we got the purple gem, just like the red gem, I decided to return to Area 2 to get the box gem and secret gems of Tomb Time. And after a bunch of very stupid moments...
See, I told you, I wanted to do the double jump, but since I was going down, I wasn't able to perform the double jump because I'm so used to double jumps working whenever the hell I want to. Because, you know, that's how a double jump is supposed to work unless it's Mario. God damn it. Okay, I do know there's a pit, yeah. And of course, I didn't make it because of the momentum of the fucking ice.
We finally get the box gem achievement as well as Sands of Time for getting every box gem in Area 2 of the Time Twister. Level 14 is another race throughout the desert road, and just like last time, this one is not that bad. Although I did get cheated out of first place because these levels freaking suck. So I essentially got the box gem and crystals separate, which is honestly the best way that I would recommend you actually tackle these levels, if you struggle with the motorcycle controls. Now before we go to the final level of Area 3, we actually head back into Road Crash and collide with this alien sign to get warped to our first secret level, Hot Cocoa, where we have an open area where we have to locate a nitro detonator so that we can get past these explosives and finish the level. And here's where we get our first incredibly tedious and annoying box gem, because even if you don't hit a checkpoint throughout the whole level, if you die in any capacity, you have to go back to the Time Twister, re-enter Road Crash, play through Road Crash until you reach the alien sign, and then you can have another attempt at this tedious gem achievement. But after some very annoying deaths and replays of this level that will haunt my dreams for the rest of the making of this video, we eventually get all of the boxes.
Okay, so yeah, press forward, and you'll get it. Oh my god, we're missing one. Why? Why are we missing one? This is not it. This is not the best time to have the funny number, please, game. I probably missed like a checkpoint box. Imagine. That would be really funny if I missed a checkpoint box as the last one.
Eventually.
Where's the... Oh my god. I had a feeling it was going to be a freaking checkpoint box. God, my god. So stupid. Okay. Give me the box and get me the hell out of this freaking beach. Ocean, whatever, I don't care.
We eventually get all of the boxes and the achievement, but also, after finishing Hot Cocoa, we get the achievement Hot Cocoa for getting the box gem in Hot Cocoa. Kinda sounds a bit redundant to have that achievement, but whatever. So after getting our first secret level finished, we get messaged by Cortex and Uka Uka and enter level 15, Doubleheader, our final medieval stage. And just like the other two stages, the pacifist achievement is incredibly easy, although I did have some close calls towards the end.
Whoa. Alright. Ah! Yes, go right when he was swinging in the side you were aiming at. Oh, okay. Oh man, I'm good at video games, I swear.
And as for the box gem, this one is also very simple, but make sure that for these points with TNT crates, you see those bastards explode, since I've had issues in the past where the TNTs exploded but didn't destroy the boxes, which had me miss the box gem by one box most of the time. But besides that, we have another easy deathless achievement in the bag. And so we go into the boss, Dr. Entropy, where his boss challenge requires you to beat this Master of Time without jumping more than 20 times. This boss is very simple. Just avoid his projectiles and jump over his energy beams, and once he smashes the floor, platform your way to him and spin him away to begin the next phase. And as long as you jump over the beam attacks and on your way to him, you'll have a couple of jumps to spare and get the challenge achievement as well as Time Machinator for beating the boss, finishing Area 3, and get the best power-up of the game, the Death Tornado Spin. So after getting warned by Uka and Cortex saying that Tropy's death will lead to bad things in the Time Twister, instead of going to level 16, we head over to level 20, since level 16 requires the blue gem in order to get a secret gem, which we'll get while getting the Pacifist achievement. And level 20 just so happens to have said blue stone. And so we begin level 20, Tomb Waiter, which is my favorite level in Crash Bandicoot 3. The gimmick of this level is pretty simple. During these long hallways, water will rise and you have to make it to these safe spots while avoiding nitros, bugs, and new types of mummified enemies. And because this level is more slower paced, getting the Pacifist achievement is incredibly easy, and just like High Time, I decided to get the blue gem and the Pacifist trial at the same time. And after a missed jump, or a lack of a missed jump...
Also, I believe they work the same way as the... Why didn't my jump work? Oh my god, okay.
We conquered the death route and get our Pacifist challenge and get Blue Waiter for acquiring our next colored stone. And as long as you take your time and don't rush or get distracted like me...
one day, Oh, Jesus. Oh my god, I was not paying attention.
The box gem is another easy task. Although I want to give mention to the bonus round again, because the ending can be scary if you don't make it to the other side when you spawn the nitros and TNT, because like I said, dying in the bonus round will fail the Deathless achievement. So now that we got Tomb Raider out of the way, I just said Tomb Raider, oh my god. So now that we got Tomb Waiter out of the way, we return to level 16 and carry on with Area 4 of the Time Twister. Sphinxinator is another level where we have a box limit when it comes to the Pacifist challenge, this one being 5 boxes. Thankfully, because we have the blue gem, we can just ignore the second half of the level and go for this slippery color path that gives you steel checkpoints as you make your way to the end. Just make sure that when you jump across the gaps, you are straight as an arrow, otherwise you're just gonna plummet down to your death. But once you get used to the slippery controls, you'll get to the end and get the secret gem as well as achieving the Pacifist achievement. And as for the box gem, this one is another easy level, and as long as you take your time, this Deathless challenge is not bad whatsoever. Moving on to level 17, we have our final new gimmick level, where we take control of a plane and go destroy stuff, this case being 7 blimps, which you have to destroy in order to get the crystal. But these levels also have an interesting box gem challenge. Instead of breaking every box without dying, for these levels you have to break every box without your HP dropping below 75%. And this one is really not that bad, since the way the enemy pilots work is that they will only fire at you if they fly towards you, and also if they're on screen. So if you turn your plane to get these pilots off screen, you can destroy the blimps and get all the boxes no problem. However, if they start shooting you, don't forget to press the square button to do a barrel roll. And after conquering the skies, we return to the oceanic waters with level 18, not before seeing the returning engine. Similar to making waves, Tell No Tale's Pacifist run is very easy. The only hard bit is this section where you need to ride this ramp and avoid this box. However, if you just tap the accelerator button, you will slowly drop down the ramp and you'll get the Pacifist achievement with no problems after said ramp. And as for the box gem, once you get to this point, make sure you head to the right to this isolated area for some boxes and even a secret opening for some lives. But other than that, you'll get the Deathless achievement with a lot of ease.
Yeah, you may have noticed that I've been just speeding through these pacifist and deathless achievements, and that is because, to be completely honest, with the exception of Hot Cocoa, these levels on getting the box gems deathless have been incredibly easy so far. Let's make sure that this string of good luck stays. For our final level of Area 4, we have Future Frenzy, which is the last level that we can't get the box gem, since for this one, we have to pull an air crash and enter this level from another place. So instead, we go for the pacifist challenge. And this one is actually pretty difficult, since there are multiple spots where you can accidentally break boxes, mainly due to the limited space. Like this part with the rotating platform, but also having to avoid enemies and boxes at the same time, like this section with the robot and the TNT. However, the hardest part of the pacifist challenge is towards the end, where we need to cross this gap without breaking these boxes that are right on the top. Usually, you would have to jump on this turbine and just mash the square button to glide to the other side. However, because there are boxes on the path, destroy them is practically inevitable. Oh, okay. Can't believe that actually worked. Okay, this is the end. Okay, don't hit the nitro detonator. Oh man, that would be the worst. So because we already finished level 20, after finishing level 19, we move on to the boss Dr. Engine, in what is the best boss of the game with no competition once again. And in this fight, we take control of Coco Bandicoot as we destroy Engine's robot and avoid going below 90% for the boss challenge. Phase 1 is incredibly easy, although make sure you stay clear of the Gatling guns since they can shred your HP like nothing and make you fail the challenge immediately. However, besides that, destroying the missiles is incredibly easy since they don't take that much hit. However, for phase 2, I highly recommend you destroy the bottom target since the bombs that get thrown out take a lot of shots to destroy and they deal a lot of damage. After that, take care of the plasma cannons and then the 4 missile launchers on the top. And if you do this flawlessly without taking any hits, you'll defeat this really fun boss and get your challenge achievement as well as Advanced Mech for finishing Area 4 and getting a goddamn bazooka. So now it's time for the 5th and final area of the Time Twister, where the first level we're going for is level 23, because similar to Area 4, we need a color gem to fully complete level 21, this time requiring the green gem. And just like High Time and Tomb Waiter, this is another gem that requires us to ride a death platform and beat a death route, with the only difference being that after beating the death route, you'll be sent back to the normal level. But even that is not bad, because this level is another easy level you can beat pacifist. And as for the box gem, the only hard part about this level is the bonus round, since you need to use your newly acquired Fruit Bazooka to blow up the nitro. And because you have the Fruit Bazooka, you can also take care of the enemies and hazards like the fire-throwing goons on the windows by just shooting at them, making the Deathless achievement incredibly easy. But after the bonus round, we'll get the remaining boxes, make it to the end and get our achievement, no problem. Well, it happened. A part of me panicked because I missed the box, and I'm like, uh-oh. But then when I saw, oh, it's up here. But then I died, I was like, oh. But then I got the achievement, I was like, oh, okay. So after that incredibly scary choke point, but also incredibly funny death, we go back to level 21 and go for the pacifist challenge for Gone Tomorrow. Similar to the previous future level, this level is also very tricky to beat without breaking any box, although not as hard as Future Frenzy. And that is because the only really hard part about this level is this section after skipping the bonus round, where we have this box setup that you need to make a perfect jump if you want to beat this level in a pacifist manner. Oh my god, that was close. Wow. So after that scary jump that almost led to a death, we make it to the end and get the final pacifist achievement of the Crash Bandicoot 3 set. And as for the box gem, firstly, we do need the green gem for it, but also you want to make sure that you do not blow up this TNT, since during the green gem path, we will hit an exclamation box at the end that will spawn boxes back on the main path, which includes a box that you can only destroy with the TNT's blast. But besides that, another straightforward level and another Deathless achievement in the bag. Level 22 has the return of the desert races for the 3rd time, and just like the other two, there is nothing much to say.
Just drive carefully, and if you want, get the crystal and box gems separately. Although I do want to give mention to this part where you need to use this boost so that you can actually clear this jump and get this crate. Otherwise, you won't make the jump and the game will put you ahead of the box. Thanks for that, you dig-ass game. But besides that box, this is another easy level, to the point that I even got a beautiful photo finish moment. Yes! I saved it. Level 24 is another plain level with the same box gym challenge as Bye Bye Blimps. Except that instead of destroying blimps, we have to destroy these huge biplanes by shooting down their engines. And similar to Bye Bye Blimps, if you get the enemy pilots off screen, the health achievement is incredibly easy to get. Despite me screwing up multiple times, but hey, who's counting? And so we move on to the final level of the main game. Level 25, Bug Light, which is our final Egyptian level. However, with a twist. That being the return of the Firefly mechanic from Crash 2. And just like Crash 2, we have an achievement to beat this level without using a Firefly. Now I did attempt to get the No Firefly achievement first, but after some deaths and accidentally grabbing the Firefly, I decided to go for the box gem first. And because you are timed by the Firefly, the boxes in this level are not that bad to get without dying. Although the bonus round is going to test your patience, since this bonus round is the worst of the entire game. And that's mainly due to the fact that the Firefly leaves Crash incredibly fast. So what you have to do is run ahead without the bug and just clear out as much as you can. My reference point being stopping before this point with a stack of boxes where we have some multi-bounce crates that you want to destroy with the fruit bazooka before touching the bug. But besides that, the Deathless achievement is relatively easy, and I did manage to get it after dying once during the bonus round. And once we return to the Time Twister, we will also get Back to the Future for getting all boxes in Area 5. So now we have the No Firefly achievement. And this is the point where I go on an overly long explanation process on how to beat this level efficiently and painless, similar to Crash 2. Except not really, because compared to Crash 2's Firefly achievements, this one is way more easier than the other ones. And that's mainly due to the fact that unlike the Crash 2 levels, this one relies on more unenclosed corridors, the presence of enemies during the dark hallways, and some lit areas that you can use as reference points. And most importantly, you can use your power-ups to essentially glide over the potential danger zones. Now I will say that the end is definitely the hardest part since it's pitch black and you don't have any reference points to avoid the nitros. But after a couple of deaths, you will get to the end and get our No Firefly achievement. Which, granted, I could have saved some deaths by using the fruit bazooka, but whatever. But also, I should mention that if you want, you can wait until you get the yellow gem and get the no bug achievement by beating the color gem trial, since that trial doesn't rely on bugs and it's a much easier path to take instead of the normal pitch black path. So here we are, the final fight of the Crash trilogy. We have Uka Uka and Dr. Cortex, and what is by far the most underwhelming fight of the trilogy, just because of how stupid easy it is. Now that being said, we do have a boss challenge, which is beating Cortex without jumping. Now this fight is split in 3 phases. The only difference between them is the attack that Aku and Uka do. In phase 1, they will gaze into each other's eyes and have a deadly laser that will try to melt you. And while this is going on, Cortex will try to shoot you 3 times with his gun. After 3 hits, he will follow it up by throwing mines on the ground. And once he throws the last mine, his shield will go down and give you the opportunity to spin him into the hole in the center of the arena. And after taking the fall, we change to a new phase. Phase 2 will have the brothers spin around and go in a Mobius pattern while Cortex does the same thing. And in Phase 3, the masked duo will collide where Crash is standing and explode after a couple of seconds, with Cortex doing the same thing as the last 2 phases. Just stick to the bottom of the arena and pray that Cortex doesn't throw a mine directly on top of you, and you'll get the boss challenge as well as End Disposed for defeating Cortex and beating the main game. Now, even though we defeated Cortex, saving this game's rating from being a T or even an M,
maybe I should retire to a nice big beach with a nice big drink and a woman with nice big bags of ice for my head.
Uka Uka mentions that even though we have the crystals, they can still collect the gems and have a chance to dominate the world, which means it's time to get the remaining gems. But how do we do that? Well, firstly, we have to tackle the time trial relics. But before we get to them, let's explain how these time trials work. After collecting a level's crystal, if you return to said level, you'll find this clock at the beginning. Interacting with it will begin time trial, where 3 things will happen during said time. The first one being that any collectibles will be normally gone. Wumpas, 1-ups, and Akus are gone since dying does not decrease your life counter. The second aspect is that specific crates will now contain Aku Aku masks, and if you enter a time trial with an Aku Aku, the mask that you have will disappear no matter if it's level 1 or 2. And finally, specific crates will have numbers on them, where destroying them will stop the timer for X amount of seconds depending on the number on the box. And this last aspect is the most important of the 3, since destroying these time crates will help you in getting the ultimate reward for these time trials. And said reward are the time trial relics, where you can get one of 3 types. First, we have the Sapphire Relics, which are the equivalent of a single clap, which means that you just did the bare minimum when it comes to the completion process of Crash 3's time trial achievements. But collecting them will also unlock bonus levels once you get your relic total to a multiple of 5 all the way to 25. Next up is the Gold Relics, which are more challenging to get, but are required to get a special gem for collecting all 30 of them, which will give your percentage all the way to 105%. But then, we have the highest tier, the Platinum Relics.
Alright, I get it!
Which are the hardest ones to get and require you to know the ins and outs of a level in order to achieve the best time possible. But considering that the gold relics are the minimum to get the bonus gem to get full completion in this game, maybe there's an even special reward for getting all platinum relics, right? It's About Time requires you to get all platinums to get the true ending, so maybe Crash 3, and to an extent other Crash games, also reward you for getting all platinums. Well, to quote one of our greatest philosophers of our time,
but the platinum relics don't give you shit.
if we don't include It's About Time and Crash Bash, since that game's platinum relics are a completely different beast, getting platinum relics in Crash games is completely optional. Gold relics are the bare minimum in order to get the full completion in all Crash games that have time trial relics, while platinums are just bragging rights. But because RetroAchievements requires you to experience everything a game has to offer, for better and for worse, getting the platinum relics is a requirement in order to master the game. And this right here is the reason as to why I was dreading this mastery. Now, because we have to replay every level again to get these relics in order to master this game, for this part of the video, I'm just going to speed through every level, talking about the difficulty and specific parts of the level that can be tricky, and I'll give tips and tricks on getting the platinums more easily. That said, if you want to see my full experience with the platinum relic grind, I'm just going to plug my Wolf Archives channel since, you know, I upload my full playthroughs of every game I master for the series, and you can just see my full descent into insanity. But, with that out of the way, let the platinum grind begin. For the first level of the game, this one is pretty simple. Just make sure you try to cut corners and try to not slide jump, since I swear that making slide jumps slows you down. But after some attempts, which involved signs of me being rusty after all this time, we get our first platinum with ease. But also, you don't have to do this, but I do recommend you go ahead and shoot the clock with your bazooka to get a starting advantage. Both underwater levels are pretty hard when it comes to the platinum, and that's mainly due to the fact that you have to mix pressing the X button rapidly to speed through the level and spin boxes and enemies away. However, the UPV sections are the worst, because you have to blindly use the boost and hope that you don't crash onto enemies early, making it so that you can't destroy coral with time crates inside of them. However, if you know the enemy placement and you boost appropriately, you can get this platinum very easily, even though I did clutch it for this one. Oh crap. Okay, we're at the end actually. 8, 9, yes! Alright. Platinum Relic. This platinum is the first difficult one, since in order to get this one, you have to boost for the entire stage while getting all time crates. At the same time, you have to make sure you perform early jumps to land on the second jump pad and get these time crates. But the most annoying aspect of this stage is the amount of times that I just didn't destroy time crates, like this 2-second crate, which gave me war flashback to bears repeating. I missed the 2 box. I did it again! I did it again! Why do you bypass the 2 box? What the hell? But if you manage to get all time crates and never let go of the boost, the platinum is not that hard. Although you want to keep in mind that the time will keep going until you land after making the final jump to the portal. Go below to shoot the clock so you can have a lead start. The chase sections can be annoying due to the lava pits coming out of nowhere. However, I feel that the hitbox for the lava pit is more inconsistent in the Insane trilogy, since I wasn't able to hit the lava even though I very clearly was standing on it. After the first chase, try to have a gold Aku Aku since you can go invincible during the normal part of the stage and have a clear path through the grass without slowing down. And after the second chase, which also applies to all chase sections, you can actually have the Triceratops destroy the time crates and the time will be stopped, which could give you some leeway for the platinum since they're going to be destroyed later, giving you some opportunity to get the platinum. You can just get to the end with 10 milliseconds to spare. That is incredible. Oh my god. Now, as a personal note, the jet ski levels are without question the hardest ones to platinum, mainly due to the bumpy nature of the jet ski and the inability to brake with this crappy ass vehicle. But because you can't become invincible in these levels, I would just recommend you take the hit to cut corners if bumps are in your way, especially here towards the end of the level. But if you manage to deal with the BS physics of the jet ski, this level is not that bad. Although, trust me when I say this, you will suffer through the jet ski levels. Now, as a side note, after getting all platinums in an area of the time twister, you will also get 2 achievements, those being for getting a sapphire relic or better and a gold relic or better in said areas of the time twister. Now, this is going to be the only time I point this out for all of you people watching this on your second monitor. Yeah, I know you. However, I will point out the achievements once we finish off every area of the time twister. Just like Toad Village, you can cut corners. However, some time crates can be tricky to break like these 3. But besides that, this is another time trial that is very easy, and managed to get it even though I got scammed by a sword. Oh my god, what the hell? Oh, barely. Oh, thank god. Now, this level can be your first annoying platinum, since there's an issue with these levels where holding the jump button when grabbing the railing sometimes has crash letting go and dropping into the abyss, which essentially makes me super paranoid and have to literally quick tap the X button so that I don't bug out. But besides that, make sure you go invincible so that you can zoom past the second hanging section and the platinum is going to be yours with no problem. So here we have the first true hard platinum, since for this one, you have to perform a balancing act throughout the whole stage. Basically, what you want to do is play the level normally, and after hitting the first speed boost, you have to keep the boost for the entire race until you reach the ramp at the end. But you also want to make sure that you get every single time crate, as missing one will make you fail the time trial. Thankfully, the turning of the motorcycle is not as bad as the Insane version, and this course is not that long. But I will say that the hardest part of this platinum is finding the route that you have to take, which involves avoiding the other racers, going off-road, and hitting the time crates. And yes, you could let the other racers go ahead for a bit, but I would not recommend that, since I would recommend you get used to the racers being in the way. That way you will get used to their presence, making the racing levels not that bad when it comes to the platinum.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got it. Wait, did we? Okay.
This is the first level with a very strict platinum time, since you can't stall for even a second. And you also need to rely on invincibility once you reach the halfway point. You can also cut corners in this section, but the main problem will be this 3-second crate towards the end, which ironically is the last time crate of the level, where you need to destroy it with invincibility. Otherwise, getting to the end in time is going to be a chore.
Come on, 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 come on! 10 milliseconds!
Similar to Orient Express, you have to boost for the entire stage. But unlike the previous Pura level, this one is much straightforward. The only hard bit is right here where avoiding the third jump pad can be tricky. But other than that, I did find this one easier than Orient Express. I was surprised at how easy this one was. The bandyfish can be annoying since they track you and they have a large hitbox when they spin, but besides that, the baby T section is easy, although I think it's faster for you to ignore him, and the chase sequence is also easy despite some very interesting hitboxes. But like I said, if you let the Triceratops destroy the time crates, you can have an advantage at getting the platinum, even though I did cut this one very close. Oh, barely. This one is tedious, especially when you have to blindly boost with a UPV and hope you don't collide with enemies. But you also have these jet streams that you have to wait for, which also have a very dumb hitbox. But also, this is the first level where we have to deal with a good friend of ours, the good old classic PlayStation jank.
Man, this game is so well programmed. Like, my goodness. 10 out of 10 programming. I love it. Oh, wait. Go, 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 go. Yes. Okay. Alright, that didn't took that long, but...
Oh boy. So this is the first big one that a lot of people struggle with. Mainly because of the fact that depending on what time you decide to start the time trial, the level will basically stop you at every opportunity thanks to these fire traps. However, I did manage to find a way to consistently get the perfect timing. As soon as you start the level, aim at the clock with your bazooka and wait for the magic carpet to appear on screen as it goes down. Once you see it, shoot the clock and go, making sure that you don't lose Aku since you need him for invincibility, but also to make the end a bit more easier. But this is the level where I had the biggest issues where Crash will just let go of the railings, and this will definitely grind your gears if you're not used to this. To the point that on my successful attempt, I did the fastest tap of the X button of my entire life, praying that I would just not let go. However, besides that, this level is really not that hard. And another tip I will give you is that if you press up during the vertical sections, you can actually have more control and not do, well, this. Thank you, Crash. So, going into this game, I knew for a fact that this was the level that was going to be my personal roadblock. And it sure as hell happened. For this platinum, you essentially have to play frame perfect while cutting corners as much as you can while hitting all time crates. You also need to pull perfect turns in this S pattern area towards the halfway point and try to get nudged by these assholes. The time for this platinum is so ungodly precise that I have no idea how the death time for the stage is 1 minute and 15 seconds. But we'll talk about the death times later. And this was the level that I spent the most trying to get the platinum. A grand total of almost 50 minutes, to the point that I literally missed the platinum by 3 milliseconds. This level just took forever, and it reminded me as to why I despise the platinum relics in Crash Bandicoot, and as to why I am not looking forward to mastering future Crash games. Even though I will admit that the games that I've done, those being Wrath of Cortex and Huge Adventure, compared to this are much easier to platinum. However, after almost an hour of attempts trying to desperately get this stupid platinum Ankh,
Fuck this game.
Thankfully, we end Area 3 with an easy platinum, since this one is just like the other two medieval stages. That said, you want to destroy the time crates yourself when you reach the TNT boxes, since TNT explosions will not stop the timer if they destroy a time crate. But other than that, go invincible and get your platinum on the first try, even though we get it barely, but we conclude Area 3 on an easy note. Okay, so before we talk about this level, we need to clarify something. If you check the achievements for this level, you will see that you have to get the true platinum of this level by beating the time you see on screen right now. And the reason why it says the true platinum is because in the original NTSC version of Crash 3, there is a bug with the secret levels, those being Hot Cocoa and another level called Oedipus Rex, where the time required to get the platinum is the same time as the level you used the secret exit. In other words, Hot Cocoa's platinum time requirement is the exact same as Road Crash. That said, this is only a bug in the original NTSC version of the game, since this bug will be later fixed in the PAL version and of course the Insane version of Crash 3. So with that in mind, the main challenge of this level is trying to find a route that will take you to the Nitro Detonator and back while getting enough time crates so that you can actually make it in time and get the true platinum. And despite the fact that there are some literal BS moments like this bomb section, once you figure out the route, it really was not bad. You just need to get used to the obnoxious jet ski physics and the questionable hitboxes of these stupid ass bombs.
Why do I feel you go slower in that part? No, it's probably just me. Alright, I'm gonna do the stupid thing again. Okay, we got it. We got it.
This level is a troll, mainly due to the closing doors that can waste your time, making the platinum pretty much impossible. However, there are other trollish aspects of this level. At the start, you want to backtrack and shoot the clock so that you can hit 2 3-second time crates to have an advantage at the start. After that, you want to be lucky with the doors, and once you make it to the hull before the blue gem, you want to destroy all time crates as quickly and efficient as possible. And if you manage to go invincible, the rest of the level is really not that bad. Although I want to point out that if you want, you can also get the platinum by completing the blue gem path. It's more difficult and RNG based, but it's possible to do so. This one can be hard, but as long as you go on a counterclockwise order with the blimps, this platinum is really easy, especially considering that the blimps do not move at all, which will not be problematic for a future level. After Hot Cocoa, I thought the jet ski levels were not going to be that bad, but my god, these time trials proved my absolute hatred for the jet ski levels, just because of the randomness of the stage, which involves the position of the bombs, the seagulls, and the jumps that Coco does thanks to the goddamn wavy water. Not to mention the instances where you can just miss the box during the ramp jumps, which is probably one of the dumbest things about these levels. And yeah, this level was just another tedious and obnoxious platinum that I just wanted to get over with. The problem is that there is only one more jet ski level after this, so I'm not free yet. Just to put this right here, both future levels are the hardest platinums of the platforming levels. There's a lot of variables and obstacles that can kill you fast, and trying to go invincible is practically a requirement if you want to have a chance at the platinum. For this first level, your main obstacles will be the UFOs that will try to abduct you, and these spike robots that have a questionable hitbox, like everything else in this godforsaken game. However, if you manage to go invincible, the rest of the level is really not that bad.
Oh my god, okay. Nice.
I mean, I can just show my successful attempt and be done, because even though I died a lot in this one, this is without question my favorite level to go for the platinum. And that's mainly due to the fact that there are large skips you can perform while corridors are flooded, and if you manage to get invincibility, it's practically a straight path to the end, making this platinum a rewarding one to get. Now, similar to high time, you also need to make sure you go at the right time. And basically what I do is I wait for the bug at the start to make 2.5 cycles and then shoot the clock and go, which makes it so that the rooms will be flooded at the perfect time. So compared to Future Frenzy, this one was definitely much easier to get the platinum. I will say that the beginning is definitely the hardest part of the level, but if you can get to the third Akko in the 2D section, you basically got this level in the bag. I'm gonna go for it. Oh, this is the end. Okay, so we're fine. Okay, never mind. Without question, the easiest and most fun racing level to platinum, mainly due to the fact that you can go long distances without losing your boost. And as long as you know where the time crates are, this level is not hard and honestly really fun to discover new routes, which was definitely a good thing after the god-awfulness that was Road Crash. Oh my god, wow. Okay, there's no need to get that. Oh, I thought I missed the crate. Okay, we got it. Sweet. Oh man, that was awesome. Okay, yeah, this one was not as bad as the other two. Similar to high time, you want to start the time trial at the right time, which for me was when this swordsman starts swinging towards Crash. And after starting the time trial, I will admit that this one was incredibly easy compared to previous time trials we've done. And just like before, going invincible is basically your golden card. Okay, there's no crates there. I thought there were, but no. Wow, 9 seconds to spare. Holy crap, this was an easy one. Similar to Bye Bye Blimps, this one requires a specific route on what order you have to destroy the biplanes. And because they're moving, it can be more challenging, especially when the targets you have to destroy are small and you don't rely on a reticle. I'll admit that I'm not very good at this level when it comes to the Platinum Relics. However, after finally discovering the route, this level became incredibly easy. Come on, yes! Okay, that was much better. For being the final level, this one is very straightforward, to the point that I was able to beat this one on my first try. Just cut corners and take advantage from the free invincibility, and you're basically golden, or platinum, for your final platinum relic. Okay, this is the last firefly. Oh no. And wow, that was incredibly easy. First try. And there we have it. So once we get all platinum relics in all 26 levels, we head to the center of the Time Twister and ride this platform to access the secret area of the Time Twister, where we have 3 new levels and 2 revisits of previous levels that will allow us to fully complete them. Now for this part of the video, I decided to get the old stuff first before moving on to the new levels. Starting off with level 27, which is an alternate entrance to Hang 'em High, which will allow us to get the yellow gem and finally get all color gems of the game, including our final color gem achievement. After that, I decided to go back into Area 3 and finally get the box gem for Dynamite. In order to get the box gem in this level, you have to not only ride the yellow gem to a new area, but after completing the gem path, you have to backtrack and destroy boxes on the main path. However, what I decided to do is play the level normally until we reach the end of the Baby T section, and then backtrack back to the yellow gem and then complete its path. which compared to the red gym path in Boneyard, this one is more involved, since we have more than just a chase sequence. That said, I will say that the chase portion is a bit easier than Boneyard's, but we do want to remember this chase since there's a very important aspect about it. But once we finish the yellow gym path, we go back to the main level and tackle its bonus round, which is the first and only section where the Super Belly Flop will show its true power with its expanded AoE. But other than that, we finish the stage, get our box gem achievement, but also get secret goods for getting the secret gems in areas 1, 2, and 3 of the Time Twister, as well as Oriental Warrior for getting all box gems in area 3. Now, even though we're done with area 3, we do want to return to Dynamite, since this level does have a secret exit similar to Road Crash. Just play the level normally until you reach the yellow gem, then go through the yellow gem route until you reach the chase section. And as you're getting chased down, grab onto the talons of the second pterodactyl and you'll be transported to our second and last secret level, Aegipus Rex. And I just want to know right here, how the hell did people figure this secret out back in the day?
That's a good question.
Aegipus Rex is an interesting level, since this is the only level in the game that has no boxes. Instead, you have to make it to the end of this course with the help of Baby T, where there is a gem at the end for you. However, we also want to make sure we get the Platinum Relic, because if we fail to get it, we have to redo Dynamite again for another shot. And similar to Hot Cocoa, we have to get the true Platinum Relic for this level, which is the time you see right here on screen. Similar to High Time, this Platinum depends on when you decide to start the time trial, since you have to make sure that these geysers don't spew steam at the wrong time, causing you to lose Baby T, which is going to make this level and time trial much easier. But there's also the problem of these pterodactyls, which have a very interesting hitbox. But after a lot of annoying fumbles and bad timing with bullshit hitboxes, we finally get to the end, get our true Platinum Relic, but also get Gemipus Rex for getting the Aegipus Rex gem, finishing our second and final secret level. The next level I went for is Future Frenzy's box gem, which you can get by accessing level 29 in the secret area of the Time Twister, which has the last instance of backtracking in this game. Now, despite the part that dying means you have to re-enter the secret area to have another shot at this gem, after clearing the secret entrance, you would place around the halfway point in the 2D section of the level, meaning that you not only have to backtrack through the 2D section of this level, but you also have to ride this platform and backtrack through the 3D section of this level, trying your best to not fall into the pits or get cheap shotted by the lasers. But if you manage to avoid everything and make it back to the beginning, the rest of the level is not that bad. You can even use the bazooka to have a relaxed bonus round if you think that you won't make these jumps. But after beating the level and collecting our box gem, we also get Tomb Raider for collecting all box gems in Area 4. Now, before we head into the bonus levels, there is one more gem I want to grab, and that is the secret gem in Bug Light, which requires all color gems to collect. And similar to Spaced Out from Crash 2, you have to complete a gauntlet to get the gem. Although I will say that this color gem trial is by far much easier than the Crash 2 gauntlet. Not to mention that in the case you die, you can collect the Aku Trio and head into the gauntlet with a gold Aku Aku. Unfortunately, no invincibility since you lose it when you ride the gem. And once we make it to the end and collect our gem, we get the final gem of the main Time Twister and get hidden extras for collecting all bonus gems in areas 4 and 5 of the Time Twister. So now it's time for the 3 bonus levels, starting with Ski Craze, the final jet ski level of the game, where we have our final Deathless achievement, and just like the other jet ski levels, as long as you take your time, this level is not bad, even though this level is guilty of missing boxes during jumps, which again is pretty fucking stupid. Oh, I missed one? Oh my god. Really? No, don't do that. Alright. Crazy Sky. So now that we're free from the Deathless achievements, it is now time for the time trial. And this one is the most interesting one of the jet ski levels, because you basically want to play the level normally, but once you reach this time crate bunch, you have to keep the timer frozen for the remainder of the stage. And this can be challenging and fun at the same time if you don't deal with the normal bullshit of the jet ski levels. But besides that, if you have a good time when you reach the time crate bunch, you will have this level in the bag. But again, pray that you don't miss boxes during the jumps. Ah, great.
And done. Nice. The second bonus level is Area 51, which is our final racing level. This time, we race against UFOs in the pitch black desert roads. For this level, I decided to get the box gem first, and because I didn't want to return to the time twister every time I failed to get the box gem, I started the time trial so that I can restart easily if I miss a box. The only problem about the box gem is that because of the dark, boxes can just appear out of nowhere and make you do a hard turn so that you don't miss it. But after a stupid fall and a close fumble thanks to a UFO, you bastard. Oh my god, okay. We managed to get the box gem. Next up, I decided to go for the time trial as well as the first place gem. And this is where the level showed its ugly face. And that's mainly because of the UFOs just changing lanes on a dime, causing you to turn into the off-road or just bump into them from behind. And because you can't see shit, it's so easy to just forget the layout and do stupid things. But there's also the fact that you can be out of the range of these holes, but because one pixel of crash was in the whole hitbox, you just fall in and lose the platinum, which is definitely great game design. Thanks for that, Naughty Dog. What the fuck was that? Now for this one I did get the gem first, and after so much time that would put Road Crash in shame, I finally got the damn platinum. And now we move on to the last bonus level and the final stage of Crash 3 Warped, Rings of Power. And despite everything we've gotten through this game, this right here is my least favorite level in the whole game. Now, I'm not going to say why yet, but firstly, I decided to go for the box gem, which is by far one of the easiest box gems in the entire game. And once we get it, I'll have past me explain as to why this level sucks. So basically, what you need to do for this level, well, first off, get the clock, do not shoot it. And basically, once you reach a ring, you have to do a barrel roll. And basically, you have to maintain this for the remainder of the race. Now, the problem with this is that the turning of the plane once you perform a boost is complete ass. And it is one of the most awkward levels to control because of it. I have never been a fan of this level, even though there are levels that are legitimately worse to some extent, if you want to be that guy. At the very least, those levels play well, or at least they control well, so to speak. Now, even though I won the race and got
I'll be back
for getting all gems in the secret area of the Time Twister and the 2 time trial relic achievements, because I have all the necessary gems, I'm now forced to fight Cortex. Thank God I found out that you can exit and respawn the levels. So because I don't want to get the true ending of the game yet, I went into the boss and exited to respawn the levels and went back into Rings of Power and try to get the stupid platinum relic. Oh, I thought I missed it. I got it? I got it. Oh, thank God. Wait. Oh, thank God. Rings of Haste, more like Rings of Hate. So once we achieve our final platinum relic, we return to the main Time Twister and get the final gem from Coco, which we can get if we got a gold or platinum relic in every single level of the game. Which means that we now have one more achievement and one more objective to go. And that is to defeat Cortex to get the true ending of the game and the mastery of Crash 3. Haha! Get in the hole, Cortex. Just drop in the damn hole. Jesus. This game's killing me, man, I swear. Oh my god, okay. Whoa, that was close. Alright, stay to the left. Wait for him to drop. I would say wait for him to drop the first 2 mines and then go. Oh my god. It's over. It's over. It's finally over. I just look at my time. I'm past 11 hours. God damn it. Time. Prisoners of Time. Crash Bandicoot 3 mastered in 11 hours and 18 minutes. Jesus Christ, that's a lot of time. Because getting Platinum Relics is mandatory to get the full mastery, I'm giving this game a 9 out of 10 in terms of difficulty. The reason it's not a 10, it's mainly because most Platinum Relics were not that hard compared to my first time mastering this game. Plus, some box gem achievements were also challenging because of the fact that you can't die at all, meaning that you have to lock in from the beginning all the way to the end. I will admit that for the most part, I wasn't a fan of the pacifist achievements, mainly because they added on another pointless playthrough of a level, increasing the game length for no reason. But considering that some levels require you to do some clever moves in the beginning of Tomb Time and both future levels, not to mention that we did get some fun boss challenges similar to Crash 1 and Crash 2 in terms of after the revision, I will be generous and give the set an 8 out of 10 in terms of quality. And as for the fun of mastering this set, I'll give it a 7 out of 10. I will admit that some platinums were indeed fun, like the racing levels, except for Road Crash and Area 51, and the Egyptian levels, and some pacifist achievements were also fun to figure out. And the box gym achievements were not that bad compared to some levels in Crash 1 and especially Crash 2. But at the end of the day, I just wasn't having fun with the time trials, since I always consider them as a form of unnecessary padding, which does apply to all platforming Crash games that have time trials. And I wish we would go back to how we unlock secret levels in Crash 2 by finding secret exits, which we did get a reference to that with Hot Cocoa and Aegipus Rex. And as for the hardest achievement of the set, yeah, it's no competition. I'm giving this to Dash Crash, which is getting the Platinum Relic for Road Crash. Now, similar to Metroid, Crash 3 does have a subset, and the subset for this game is the Developer Time subset, where you need to beat the developer's best times in all 30 levels. You see, once you reach the true ending, at the end of the credits, you'll see all 30 levels with a time next to each. Those are the record times set by the devs over at Naughty Dog, as well as some of the staff from Sony back in the day. And these dev times are essentially the equivalent of the Toys for Bob relics from It's About Time. Now, I'm just gonna go ahead and put this on record, just so that people don't ask me in the comments or in chat when I eventually do live streams, but I am never doing this subset. I already hate time trials in Crash, and going for these time trials will absolutely kill me, especially considering that some of these records are just straight up insane. Now yes, I could get some of these death times, but considering that the death time for Road Crash is 1 minute and 15 seconds, if I ever went for this subset, you'll never see me again, because I'll be stuck in my personal hell with these time trials, or because I died trying to master this subset. I'm simply not good enough when it comes to these time trials, and I would rather master subsets that are actually fun for me, like Metroid Fusion's Japanese content, or even challenge runs like Mario Sunshine without using the hover nozzle. Okay, I'm going to be completely honest. After mastering this game again, I did enjoy this game more than previous playthroughs, but that doesn't mean that I will rank this game higher than other Crash games because of it. I already said my piece about the time trial relics, and I feel that I can go for the rest of my life saying that Crash 3 is my least favorite game of the Naughty Dog trilogy. Now, that's not to say that Crash 3 is all bad. There are levels and gimmicks that I really enjoy, but I'll be honest that after finishing the main game, my enjoyment does lower because of the time trials. And even though I don't need to go for platinums every time I revisit this game, at the very least I can say that with this mastery, I got better at the time trials, which, you know, it's for better and unfortunately for the worst. because I now have a new hatred for levels that I usually like them. Big thanks to Bryleafy and Salvador C17 for making this set. And now that I'm finally free from this game, it's finally time to head into uncharted territory and master brand new games that I haven't done on this channel before. And I'll admit, it feels weird, but also very exciting at the same time, since now I can play games I wanted to play for a long time, like the Spyro trilogy, Resident Evil, Zelda, Smash, Tomb Raider Anniversary on PSP, Incredibles 2 on PlayStation 2. Okay, maybe this wasn't such a good idea. Thanks so much for watching this mastery of Crash 3 Warped! If you enjoyed this video, consider leaving a like, and if you want to see more masteries from me, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified on more Retro Achievement masteries. So now that the promise of revisiting games is done, it is now time to head into new territory. And considering that we're still in the spooky season, the next game we're mastering will be Alien Trilogy for the PlayStation 1. I'm also going to be mastering the Saturn version, since that set does have exclusive achievements, but I'll give main focus to the PlayStation 1 version and talk about the Saturn version once I cover the PS1 set. Like I mentioned during the Toy Story 2 video, I want to test the grounds when it comes to games with different versions and achievement sets and see how I want to structure those videos instead of making the same video twice, with the only difference being a small portion of the mastery being different depending on the version because of the exclusive achievements. And depending how fast I master Alien Trilogy and make said mastery video, for the next game we are returning to the Metroid series with Metroid 2 Return of Samus for the Game Boy. Reason being that I really want to tackle Super Metroid and future Metroid games, which also will open the way for Metroid ROM hacks. And if I manage to master Metroid 2, I'll do a special video for Halloween and get revenge on a game that scarred me for life. But more on that on Halloween, because that's going to be a Halloween exclusive video. That's it for my Crash Bandicoot 3 mastery, and I'm finally free from the worst game when it comes to getting the Platinum Relics for now. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for watching this episode. I'm Jonathan Wolf, and I will see you all in my next mastery. Take it easy, everyone.